Bugbees, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And boy, oh boy, wouldn't you know it, tonight we're talking about something that's even more exciting than the little motorboats. It's Freakazoid Fan Film. I emphasize, folks, the Freakazoid Fan Film. All right, so Dragon, of course, this was done by Blinky Productions Incorporated. Now, we've covered something from them before, right?
Yes. Specifically, we've covered the Mother fan film they did. The Psycho. The Norman Bates Psycho. Fan film that they did.
Dragon, when I think Norma Bates, oh yeah, I think Freakazoid. It's one and the same, right?
Essentially, I've seen. I'm a longtime fan of Blinky 500s, and of course,
it goes to show the wide variety of parodies they can come up with. Like, that's an impressive range right there.
And essentially, I listed out like a couple of really good ones, and I figured, let's talk about some of those really good ones. Of course, the top of the list, the ones that you and I would have to talk about, given our shared interest. Of course, we did Psycho already with Mother, and of course, one of the longest standing ones, Freakazoid. How can we not talk about this?
Freakazoid is like arguably the entire genesis of our partnership.
I mean, pretty much. Long story short, yeah.
So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Dragon. I liked this one. I didn't love it. I think there's definitely some admirable qualities about it. I like, to put it simply, Dragon, I thought it got a little bit too meta for its own good with the whole, like, all right, we're going to have Freakazoid come in and he's going to have a conversation with the guy making the fan film. And Dragon, like, I guess on paper that's a good idea, and it makes for, like, and there are very solid, like, I love the idea of the reason it's a fan film being that they can't say Spielberg's name because of royalties. That is gold. That right there is gold. I don't know, Dragon. I just, like, at the end of the day, maybe this is intentional, but I almost feel is cheaped out by the lack of actual fan film that this thing is Freakazoid is. Like, it really is just kind of like a meta conversation and one, albeit pretty funny Candle Jack scene, and that's really, I don't know. I mean, like, I like it, but I'm a little mixed on it, Dragon.
Yeah, I went crazy for this thing. I went crazy for this thing when it happened in 2017. Man, I was when this thing showed up, I was like, oh my God! Someone, bless their crazy heart, finally did a Freakazoid fan film. My heart's a Twitter. I love it.
Well, of course, we also have the Don Cheadle Freakazoid as well. Wait, no, Captain Planet, not Freakazoid. I stand corrected.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Another blue skin superhero. My bad.
Well, I mean, it's kind of that blue-silver sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah. Don't get ever pinpoint what the deal was with Captain Planet, really, but, anyway. But yeah, so the point is, rarely, if ever, honestly, have we ever seen a Freakazoid fan film, at least outside of maybe like another Candlejack fair, at least I think is as far as I can think of off the top of my head. So let me tell you how we get this fan film. It's quite interesting. That's a wonderful thing about our director here, Chris R. Notarile, as Freakazoid says, Chris.R. Notarile. Of course, Chris Notarile, very much Blinky 500, kind of the man who captains the ship over there. He always includes a lovely, kind of paragraphs of background of what kind of gets us the film. In these, every time he premieres a film, which these days he's been doing like a live premiere, which gets kind of quite the buzz. Everyone kind of tuning in at midnight, and it's quite fun. Anyway, so Freakazoid. So essentially, he did a Facebook poll of what his next fan film should be, and there were a lot of options. They kind of almost tournament style, practically. Kind of came down to two options, which Freakazoid won out. Do you want to know what the other option was?
Oh, what was it?
Squirrel Girl.
Oh man! Oh, we definitely got the better of the two.
That we did. Unless you get Anna Kendrick, it's a non-starter.
Like Squirrel Girl, I think in the right hands could be an interesting MCU property, but
Sure, we almost got that Squirrel Girl show, but Rolling Stones gather no moss. Anyway, so Oh, anyway, so Freakazoid was the winner, and basically what he did is, okay, so if I'm going to do a Freakazoid fan film, essentially has the kind of a kind of a fourth wall discussion with himself almost internally about, how would you approach such a task, and it kind of led to the fourth wall aspect in a post Deadpool world with a fellow '90s character,
Uh-huh.
where how would Freakazoid react in this day and age, and everything just kind of fell into place with Notarile himself, who, by the way, hasn't acted in a long while in his own stuff. It's been a long time since he's popped up, and basically used his own house. He's an old friend who portrayed Freakazoid, and it was all shot in the day. Now, of course, Tiki and I, Freakazoid is not quite Freakazoid without one mainstay element for he and I.
Yeah.
Now, there's a reason why he's not in this, Tiki. So, of course, Tiki and I are referring to our old buddy Cosgrove, Sergeant Mike Cosgrove from Freakazoid, played by the incomparable Ed Asner. Essentially, for the kids, for the millennials who may not be will essentially Freakazoid, while he's on an adventure, he's like in the middle of the action, his Jim Gordon-esque kind of a police contact will show up either to inform him of the matter or interrupt him mid handling of matter, and just kind of like just have like a random hobby or a random aside that's kind of take his mind. He's like, "Hey Freakazoid, want to get some donuts?" Or like, "Hey Freakazoid, want to go to Jellyland or Spumoni Ice Cream Land?"
It's 9 times out of 10 the latter, Dragon.
Exactly. So hysterically, just will kind of be just completely distract Freakazoid from the task at hand.
I mean, I don't know, I know you said you do have a reason, Dragon, but I was just waiting because we were like building up this whole like Freakazoid needs to do a fan film, and Dragon, I was just waiting for it. I was just waiting for Mike Cosgrove to show up and be like, "Hey, Freakazoid, instead of this fan film, you want to go to Baskin Robbins or something?"
Do I?
Right. I was just waiting for it, Dragon.
I know. And I asked Mr. Notarile about this, and what he told me was that Cosgrove's absolutely was considered. It was desired.
I assume it comes down to casting.
Yes, here's the thing. It was a casting thing in that he had an actor for Cosgrove, and mind you, this was pre-pandemic. Way before. This was 2017, but even that's still factored in with the whole famed thing with Blinky 500. These are budgets with no. These are films with practically no budget. Any budget is like donated just to the bare minimum, essentially. I mean, in the best of ways, just to see what the man turns out with just what he can muster. He turns out tremendous work. With that in mind, he had the perfect actor, but that actor no longer was local, so he was like way out of range. Just the right guy for Cosgrove. Of course, it would have to be age appropriate. Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah, that's man. I mean,
So I guess the most Ed Asner looking actor he had just was not available.
Maybe a workaround would have been you could like Skype in his lines or something like that. But
Cosgrove wouldn't be able to. Here's the thing: I think maybe if Cosgrove called in, interrupted him, maybe that would have been.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's like the only other thing I could think of is. But I understand that though. Like as we can, as like we're the big kind of like Dragon. I almost feel like we're the public relations people for. Whenever people ask, "Hey, what happened to the old Harley on Harley Quinn versus in the Joker versus the real world?" So it's like we know all too well about the challenges when it comes to stuff like that.
Sure. All right, so yeah, I mean, ultimately for me, again, it's pretty much everything I'd want in a Freakazoid revival or an update on Freakazoid, especially since we've gotten just kind of like the most cruel tease at that on Teen Titans Go recently. I mean,
man,
would you agree? Compared to that, this excels greatly.
Yeah, compared to that, sure.
And that even had the real actors in it. That's saying something.
Yeah, God, that was like a whole lot of wasted potential. Unfortunately,
but in the age where we're dying for a Freakazoid revival, thankfully, Blinky 500 answered our calls. At least gave us
the Teen Titans Go thing. Felt like a monkey's paw thing.
Pretty much. Like, well, oh man, I got to unwish this wish.
Right. All right.
Wait, what's this lasso doing on my leg anyway? So.
Oh God.
All right, so let's tackle this as kind of the major Freakazoid fans that we are, and kind of say how we felt about the excursion. So we start this the only way we can start with Joe the announcer.
Yeah, this fan film is dedicated to Mrs. Ashley Hugbees of Fuller's Earth, Arizona, because we like saying the word Hugbees. Go ahead, try it.
Hugbees.
Perfect way to start.
course, Hugby's always just even with that Teen
I
Titans
feel
cover,
like
one
Huggies
thing they
is
got
like
right.
the ultimate. It is the ultimate Freakazoid in joke, and frankly, I feel like Teen Titans Go didn't earn that title.
No, they didn't. No, they did. I was happy to see that title, but it did not live up
It's
to the
like
hype
they
of seeing that.
looked up like, oh, what are the popular Freakazoid memes? But they don't understand Hugby's Dragon.
Yeah, just like they don't understand the little motorboats, but we won't have time to get into all that. No, but seriously, I do love that, even though we don't quite have room
You
for
mean
the
they don't even have Honey, I Shrunk the Audience?
Seriously, though, even though we don't have necessarily room for an announcer, given what our story is going to entail here, I do love that we kind of worked in like a sound alike of Joe Leahy to do the Huggies.
Oh yeah, it's
kind of two birds with one
yeah.
stone in the best of ways. So then we start with a gag that just made me so happy in my heart of hearts. Like, this is how you start a Freakazoid fan. This is how you bring Freakazoid into live action in some way, shape, or form.
Just like, there he is, man. There he is. He's doing the iconic like whirling around with his arm motion.
Yep, this is how Freakazoid flies, kids. And not only does he fly, I love that he flies set to the John Williams Superman theme. I thought that was just utterly brilliant. So he's just doing the whoosh as he just kind of, that's how he flies. Just runs around with his arms in the air. So to me, yeah. To me, that sets the tone perfectly. It's very on brand with the absurdity, just in the proper scale, and but it complements the Blinky 500 budget, where again we're Freakazoid just doing the whoosh in suburbia, where again it's like it's as straightforward as you get.
It's exactly what we want to see in live action, but it's still very, very, very simple to pull off.
Yeah, then we have Lindsay Bean, who's in one of the other Blinky 500 films we should probably get to at some point, I imagine, when Rick and Morty returns. She played, she's in I believe Rick and Morty Strike Back or something. It's the one with it's the Wendy's one, which basically is all about the Szechuan sauce.
Oh no! Did they try and resurrect an old Wendy's sauce now?
Trust me, Tiki, you're gonna love it.
Okay.
There's the Rick and Morty fan films. There are two of them. I think you love them both, but we'll see if we get to those. Hopefully we will. Anyway, so Lindsay Bean, she just gives this like incredulous nod of just like. Just gives like the nod of like, no, this guy.
Yeah, there he is. Fucking idiot.
Yep, and again, also fun fact. And again, I don't know. This technically came out in the same year. I wonder if Blinky was directly inspired by this, given the Deadpool references throughout this. Deadpool 2 was hyped up in the Logan premiere when Logan played in theaters. There's a little Deadpool short. It's called No Good Deed, and only in the theatrical version, if you saw the movie in that year, did it start off with Deadpool running out of the phone booth set to the John Williams Superman music.
Yes, of course.
I can't help but wonder, but anyway. Okay, so then of course he overshoots the whoosh as he goes past the house. Whoosh! And then he returns. So let's talk about the actor played Freakazoid. So Freakazoid is played by Alex Farnham. Now, Alex Farnham, I don't know do you recognize that name at all, T? I don't know if you've watched any of like the videos. Just that name.
No, I mean the only one I've seen is the Bates Motel one.
So Alex Farnham,
not the Bates Motel one, the Psycho one. You know what I'm saying?
We wish it were Bates Motel. Nothing against that one. I'm just saying we love Bates Motel. If Chris Notarile did that too, that'd be astonishing.
Oh my God.
Anyway, we're not greedy. So, Alex Farnham, he did these Ace Ventura videos on YouTube. He does basically a practically flawless Ace Ventura impression. And so again, he's got a lot of Jim Carrey kind of energy and Jim Carrey cadence. And I think, again, for many years, people saying like, hey, way back in the day, like, hey, if you're going to do Freakazoid live action ever, not a lot of people, but a few people. It's like, hey, if you do Freakazoid live action, get Jim Carrey to do it.
Sure.
Which, again, it's kind of like the best of both worlds. It's kind of like casting in a sense of like, yeah, you get young Jim Carrey in this somehow playing Freakazoid. And again, the only nitpick I have in this film, outside like the Cosgrove thing, that again, we've already gone through that. But the only nitpick I truly have with this is it's the hair. It's like the one flaw. It's like he looks so perfect.
I mean, I don't really know how you would do the hair and
make it look good.
Make it look good, yeah.
We've seen people do.
It's kind of like it's kind of the same dilemma of like how do you do Ariel's hair from The Little Mermaid in a 3D environment. You know what I mean?
Sure. But I totally get why he didn't do it. It's just like it's like that, or like maybe like the little lightning bolt.
But the actor does a great job. He's just Paul Rudd is obviously like as far as just the vocal cadence, he's a super hard act to follow.
Of course.
So it's like, he fills the shoes nicely.
It's as close as you're going to get without Paul Rudd, I feel.
Yeah.
I mean, again, he's got the kids. We get some Jerry later on, which is perfect, which you got to get some of that with any Paul Rudd performance.
Out of curiosity, has Paulson ever done Freakazoid on his podcast or anything?
Do you mean has he ever had Paul Rudd on?
No, I mean, like, has he ever just offhand, like, done Freakazoid?
Oh, has he ever appeared on Freakazoid?
No, I'm sorry, I'm not making this clear. Like, I'm saying on his podcast, like, let's say hypothetically if he did have Paul Rudd on, like, because I know sometimes they'll do these things where, like, like him and Maurice the Marshall, like, reverse roles or something, like.
Oh, no, I know what you're talking about, like the new feature of the show where they'll have actors, like, read copies, they do, like, a little taste of the thing.
Right, so we've never, I don't know, I'm just saying, like, I'd be curious to see a Paulson take on Freakazoid.
I think he's done. No, I don't believe he has, Tiki. I'm pretty sure he hasn't.
It's a super niche question, so I'm sorry.
Anyway, okay. The phrasing was a little clunky, so forgive me.
No, you're right.
Anyway, so, all right, let's see, where was he? All right, okay, so we have, like, of course, the cartoony broad movements as he's, like, knocking the door. We have the do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do, as he's, like, knocking on Chris Notarile's door here, and this, yes, are you Chris.R. Notarile?
Yes.
Oh, God. just seeing him. Again, I love that it's been a while with Notarile. Again, he has like this great dry delivery to like the dry wit of Blinky 500, which he always comes across anytime he writes too. By the way, it just translate perfectly in this very kind of Fat Albert-esque kind of situation.
He's just kind of like rolling with it.
Yeah, like the Fat Albert movie for the kids.
Yeah.
Now that movie's tainted, but you see what I'm going.
Well, I feel like the movie's less tainted than the show is.
I would like to think so.
We love Keenan.
Yes, we do.
Anyways.
Okay, let's see. So again, we have some added fun kind of there. Where so Freezo is at the door. He's asking for Notarile for this really meta encounter, and how are you? Increasingly uncomfortable, but are you supposed to be Freakazoid? Nope, I am Freakazoid. I need your help. Out of morbid curiosity, invites him in, and the one quibble I do have just in the production of the thing.
Yeah.
The audio is a bit of an audio quibble with it, and I understand because I think it's because we're mixing like outside versus being inside for the duration. So when we're outside, or at least kind of when we have kind of the conversation by the door, I think the audio is a little rough.
Struggling with the audio a little bit as well.
Yeah, and again, it's a quibble. It's not really it doesn't kill the thing. If you listen, it's there, but more like a rewatch thing is when it becomes more clear. If you're watching,
not Tenet. It's not as bad as Tenet.
Thank goodness.
It's as bad as Tenet.
Yeah, in terms of the audio, my God, Nolan should shoot a sound guy.
And I really love Tenet, but still,
he should shoot a sound guy. Let's be honest. Like non-fatally, just shoot him in the leg or something.
Like. God. Anyways,
I'm dealing with people on the internet because of you. But more British and fancy.
Wow. Okay.
Anyway, so with that Englishman's charm, more accurately. Okay. So we have this great dramatic. We have we frame it like very dramatically, like the dramatic issue at hand. This is like kind of striking like the Patton pose by the window, practically. He needs Chris to make a fan film of him. He needs to make him a fan film, which brings about the logical question.
With Freakazoid, hire Steve. Don't say the name. And Dragon, of course, like one of the hallmarks of Freakazoid are the Spielberg references.
Oh yeah, of course, the ultimate Spielberg reference I think you and I could agree on is when just in the middle of the show, like, what are you, wacko? Wacko shows up, so does the brain, and they're basically squabbling over who Steven's favorite is, and they settle the matter by going to the man himself. Steven, we know you're very busy. Oh, just ask me. Which of us is your favorite?
Paul Rudd just always kills me. Just like Steven.
And by the way, the real life fact that they got a memo from Spielberg complimenting Freakazoid, which they bring up in the episode. We got a memo.
Oh wow.
Sorry, we're geeking out, folks.
Yeah, this is great though. This is great. It's like Freakazoid. It's like, times are tough on Freakazoid Dragon. Maybe him and Steven had a falling out. He's not getting the memos from Steven these days.
I mean, again, Spielberg's distanced himself from animation for many
years.
So it makes sense. I mean, it's kind of like a divorce. Oh my God, Tiki, something just occurred to me.
Oh God, what?
Spielberg's become the divorce dad to his animated creations. It's become the daddy issues with Spielberg.
Oh no. And then Iron Giant is like the one, like the Iron Giant is like the stepson that gets all the attention now.
I mean, sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure Spielberg's not involved in Iron Giant, but sure.
No. I'm saying because he hoarded him out so much in Ready Player One.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it makes yes.
Like none of Spielberg's actual iconic animated. I mean, like Batman for a minute, but like. No. That wasn't even Spielberg, though.
Not really.
But
okay. I'll get you with the Iron Giant. That's a good point.
Yeah, it's like, but we're better than the Iron Giant. By the way, I need to make this point again. Can we please stop whoring out the Iron Giant? It's not cute. Like I hate that Space Jam did it too.
The only one allowed to do that is Brad Bird. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so, but yeah, we have like the Spielberg shush, like, don't say that name unless they're going to charge us for royalties. And I don't have the money
to pay for royalties. Do you?
Neither of them do.
just really right there, Dragon. Maybe it's just the fact that the sketch peaks early, but that to me is the biggest laugh in the whole thing.
I would. It's pretty hard to top.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, then we have why me? Why a fan film? Which then leads to, I think, the brilliant premise. Which honestly,
it's a logical thing, right? Like Deadpool very much would steal Freakazoid's thunder.
And again, you and I essentially, I forget how early this was, but I mean, since the whole the whole Disney Fox thing happened, you and I very much, we want this for Deadpool 3 in essence as the premise. We want like Deadpool just kind of like addressing the changeover in a movie.
The Disney Fox situation, yes.
Basically pitching his own movie and just trying to deal with the changeover.
Dude, if that's what Deadpool 3 is, I'm gonna fucking lose it.
Reynolds is arguing for a lot of creative control, and I'd be shocked if that were not the reason.
I would be so happy if that's what Deadpool 3 was.
I'd love it. I won't bet all my chips
holding
on
my breath.
No.
And also, that'd be a great way for Deadpool to not be in the MCU.
It'd be interesting.
Anyway,
so point being, so as Freakazoid explains here, it's been 20 years and no one from Hollywood is returning his calls ever since Deadpool stole his act. He can't book a kid's birthday party, let alone get a reboot. And the sad
Freakazoid reboot, man. Seriously, can't it? Like, I know that we were like holding out hope with the Animaniacs reboot, and that in itself was like okay, but had some problems.
Again, the key problem being they didn't get the original creatives on board.
Yes.
Like
notably Paul Rugg.
Yes, very notably Paul Rugg. It's kind of the sad truth in this dialogue, by the way, is that my two favorites, two of my favorite characters.
I was thinking about you when it was. It's like you have to pick between your kids, Dragon.
Yep, I mean, again, the Deadpool.
Like you have to pick between like the like the wallflower who's I'm sorry, this is like a weird analogy, but like
it is.
The wallflower who's like afraid to come out of his shell, and then like his like really spunky social butterfly of a younger brother.
Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, we have Blinky 500 in the comments.
Oh, we do. Oh, hey.
Yeah, hey. Welcome. We're talking about your film. Just putting that out there. I think he knows that already. Okay, so but yeah, we have the.
Now we're talking about Army of the Dead. So, what do you think of Army of the Dead, Dragon?
Well, I'll tell you, Batista's kid's not really cutting the mustard. All right. Notice, seriously, again, it's the Deadpool boom just has that double-edged sword in regards to Freakazoid. That, hey, I mean, Deadpool's getting the notoriety I've always wanted to see him get, but by the same token, now the kids are less checking out Freakazoid, directing all that to Deadpool. So again, it's like one kid's rising, the other kid's feeling, aw. He didn't come to my soccer game.
And it's our pleasure, Blinky.
we're huge, long-time Freakazoid fans, so this is a pleasure for us to cover.
Absolutely. All right, so let's see. Where are we in a recap here? Oh yeah, so then we have this really cute moment here of seriously, this moment is so cute and so charming to me. This to me, I don't know if it's the peak moment like we have with the Spielberg joke, but this seriously I think is the cutest
nod to the
joke.
camera.
Well, no, that's great, but I'm talking about like right before that, this whole the theme song bit versus like. So let me get this straight. So you have to make a movie deal. Yep. And if not, we'll be unemployed. Yeah, I see what you did there. I think that is just so ridiculously cute.
Yeah, that's fun.
This is the way we use the theme song in this. And basically, I think what we've done some really is we've used the theme song essentially as the premise to this fan film 20 years later. Think about how crazy that is. Like, that's exactly what we're doing. Is trying to get the movie deal finally. Just as we foretold all those episodes. All right. Okay, so Chris here is saying he's very flattered that he was the first choice. Getting the sense he wasn't.
Sure, first choice. Yeah, absolutely.
So then again, we have the lot with the fun. Now we have like the fun, almost Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back-esque moment. You're like, seriously, a Freakazoid reboot. Who would want to see that? And we have the fourth wall, cute turn the camera and the smile.
Oh yeah. It's very Jay and Silent Bob. It also reminds me of that moment from the Just Giggle at Disney Princess sketch.
Yep.
Seriously, who knows my name?
Oh God!
I'm like, they're looking directly at me. I am being called out.
So then again, something really cool about our fan film is that Notarile, the filmmaker Notarile in the film itself, logically goes through the process to figure out how would you approach such a task, which is okay. Well, if you're breaking down Freakazoid, as much as we love it, I mean, in the modern market, the shtick is dated. Very 90s, very quintessential 90s. And before you reach the realization we have to update, or at least update to new pop culture, it would be everyone's doing cutaway gags now, which is a very excellent point. Like, yeah, everyone is doing cutaways now.
It's not just like animated series. It's like straight up like animated films. It's like, look at the humor in Mitchells versus the Machines or something like that. It just kind of feels like the default now.
Yep. I'm not going to say Freakazoid was the first to ever do it, but definitely first to ever do it truly well.
Well, I mean, Simpsons.
Well, there goes my point. But yes, you're right.
I'm sorry. No,
you're right. That's what I'm saying. I know they weren't the first to do it. What I'm saying is Freakazoid.
Certainly one of the first children's animated shows to do it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. So, of course, like, basically have to give me something here. You're gonna have to give me more than that. And of course, so everyone's doing cutaway gags. Of course, we have the prime example. But do they have relaxo vision?
And it is legitimately like a nice kind of like modern HD relaxo vision for a minute there, Trek.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Well, I'm watching this for the first time, Tiki, back in 2017, episode 07, like a dope. So, seriously, it's like, also like, oh my God, we got Joe Leahy, we got Hug
Back in 07, man, There Will Be Blood, No Country for Old Men.
I Drink a Milkshake, all that rot.
Those two movies are literally the only thing I think of when I think of 2007.
Anyway, so we have like Relaxo Vision, which again flawlessly recreated, like in terms of a reference. Like, yeah, doing Relaxo Vision. Like, what's next? Handman? No, that'd be too much. So, all right. So then again, Chris Notarile is saying, okay, you're going to need to give me more than that. He then points out, like, how about, like, I think you need a gritty reboot. I mean, cartoons today have, like, the cartoons going big with the adult humor these days. Can you curse?
Powder Toast Man, the really, really big man.
You joke, but Blink 500's contemplating doing
I'm throwing it into the ether there, man.
So, remind me, Powder Toast Man versus who?
Really, really big man.
Oh, yes. Oh, man, that'd be awesome. Every time you bring that up, I just think, yeah, that would be cool.
And throw Quail Man in there. It's like the Wonder Woman type figure.
Sure. Here's what I want Zack Snyder to direct Action League now. That's what I want to see.
Oh, my God. Oh, we don't
give me the Snyder cut of Action League now done in stop motion. That's what I want.
Oh man!
But of course, in Snyder's case, it'd be slow stop motion.
It's like fucking Meltman would just be pure body horror.
God, no, you know he would. Okay, we're drifting off focus. We're going on our own Freakazoid tangent here. We got to rail it back. Okay, we got to go back from getting a mint or Spumoni ice cream land.
Oh God! All right.
Okay, anyway, so the gritty reboot, Can You Curse? And basically Freakazoid hilariously through again. We're not going to do it.
How dare you, sir? I honestly think this is one of the closest that he sounds to Rug in this delivery. The whole like, how dare you, sir? How dare you?
There is like a great ranty quality. Like, of course, when I think Freakazoid is going down, getting loud.
Oh, and then also there's the impression later on that's pretty.
I know. That is spot on. But I'm saying like something like that, and also kind of the stuff in this segment very much reminds me of Freakazoid cursing out, well, not just like chewing out Jeepers. We're having a good time until you shut up, Jeepers. Get some coffee with some cream in it. Something like the gold. Leave us poor beavers alone, will you?
Yeah.
Anyway, so it was that Freakazoid. He was kind of making the realization, the hilariously, almost liar style, even with the Jim Carrey factor with our actor playing Freakazoid. Again, it's the realization, like, just he can't curse.
He's like Cartman in the South Park movie Dragon. He's got the V chip.
Exactly, which again, this cracked me up so much because, of course, I keep going back to the Roddy McStew and the Ricardo Montalbano with the chip, which is the origin, which gives the whole, oh my God, they installed the V chip on the thing for him.
It makes a lot of sense. I like it.
Yeah, which again, it also fills in more.
Because like specifically like 90s internet was like really obsessed with like child security and whatnot.
Yes, and also again, we're mining a lot of gold out of the out of the theme song yet again with Dexter Douglas. So again, we're going to do Dexter's the whole origin, with the computer chip and everything. So
we get kind of like the Scott Pilgrim style, like black boxes over his mouth whenever he tries to swear.
Pretty much, yeah. So it's like aside from looking at anything naughty, those monsters. That's very Paul Rudd right there. It's going to be, I'm going to be kid-friendly the rest of my life. How am I ever going to be funnier than Deadpool?
Oh, God. And then he just breaks into Jerry Lewis, right?
It's which Freakazoid was wont to do constantly.
Of course.
Paul Rudd in general.
With the Deadpool and the boy.
The funny ha-ha, and everybody loves Ryan Reynolds with the sexually ambitious humor.
Oh my God. It's hilarious to hear like such an old school impression with such modern day subject matter. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Just to give credit to Notarile in this scene, I love how we keep the pacing and the editing is really good here. As we keep cutting back, just Notarile have no idea what to tell this crazy guy. Like, just it's on you, buddy. He knows he can't curse. He knows this is going nowhere. Like, well, I mean, it's on you, buddy. Just let's give it a shot. This is painfully obvious as a non-starter here. Says, look, you don't need the curse to be funnier than Deadpool, which then leads the whole Jerry Lewis thing. Let's focus on the core story here. We need a good story, which then leads to, I think, some hilarious comedy. By the way, we have this great physical comedy as Freakazoid, very excited. Freakazoid jumps on the couch and he fade in. He gives the picture of essentially something we've kind of seen on Freakazoid back in the first season, the lobe is captured, my dear Steffykins.
It's kind of a reoccurring thing, right?
True. Also in the Relaxovision episode. Oh, wait. Yeah, that was a Relax. There's a couple. There's Screamovision. There's Relaxovision. It was Relaxovision. Makes it better.
I forgot about Screamovision.
Yeah, Screamovision was the Candlejack episode, remember?
Right.
Which is very fitting. Okay, so Steph begins, and only I can foil him and his neutron bomb that's going to destroy the planet. Again, not really calling out all these destroy the planet.
Why would this guy, and this is like the perfect thing to even when I was a kid, I would always okay, if the guy wants to destroy the world, he's a resident of the world, right? Like, what sense would that make?
It's like the Kingpin on the Spider-Man animated show, always calling out like, "There's no business to be made. There's no business to be made from the destruction of the world." Like, yeah, Kingpin, sing it, buddy. Wilson Fisk has got it down finally.
All
right. But yeah, so just pointing out the plot hole in that, why we blew up the planet he's living on, and of course we don't have the budget for the Loeb. He doesn't say that, but I think we can feel it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, excuse me, Mr. Director. Which, by the way, I wonder, maybe a little tongue-in-cheek reference to the Animaniacs, the whole Mr. Director character. I'm just throwing it out there, but purely coincidental.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Yep. So we have like the gritty question. Why don't we go gritty with it? Go on. So Notarile, Notarile, very just so you know, T, because he does his tremendous horror stuff. I think probably the biggest feather in the cap of Blinky 500. You took away a lot of like kind of the stuff that you and I would kind of go to instantly. His Nightmare on Elm Street stuff is sublime.
Oh, nice. I should check that out.
You really should. There was like campaigns of getting the actor he got for Freddy Krueger, like to take on like a proper reboot or like a proper continuation, because he looks like a young Robert Englund. He did like bumpers on TV and stuff, and like he's done that a little bit for Ash vs. Evil Dead. Again, like pure, like his horror stuff is like that's Blinky 500 can make a whole like Hollywood should hire him to bring back the slasher movie proper in terms of the franchise. They really should. Just throwing it out there. Anyway, so we have like a black and white spooky, cut to a dark and stormy night. A woman is in the confines of an old house. And by the way, I believe they shot this during the daytime. I think it's like a little exposure thing. Because again, it was shot all in one day, and I imagine they wait till nighttime to shoot this.
It works, though. It works. To me,
it does.
It almost kind of adds like a surreal quality to it.
Yeah. There's a Freakazoid frantically arrives to save Steph. Again, we don't see. To save Steph, he thinks. Well, he thinks. We recognize an old familiar voice, Tiki.
Yeah, it's good old Candlejack.
Candlejack! Which, by the way...
yeah, just for self-promotion purposes, we did recap Candlejack last year for our Halloween offering, so... check that out in the archives if you're so inclined. Moving on, Dragon, go ahead.
Yes, of course, another feather in the cap of Blinky 500 with the production values, as we've kind of talked about the Freakazoid look. The costume recreations are flawless.
The costume on Candlejack is seamless.
It is utterly, the point is it's full.
It's great, but we can nitpick the hair. But Candlejack is like right off the screen.
I mean, the voice, too, is very, very accurate. I'm saying the whole thing's accurate. What I mean is, like, it literally seams on the costume, therefore it is. You can see the seams, but it's great.
Right.
It's perfectly seam full. That's a dumb joke. But regardless, he looks great. It's just the flawless recreation.
I'm not giving you anything on that one, buddy.
Yeah.
You're just going to have to sit on that one.
No. I can hear the flies buzzing around the Tiki. I'm well aware. All right. I got it. So, the Freakazoid gives this wonderful girlish shriek. Ah!
Oh, God.
There's a girlish scream, and then we have like I gotta tell you, this is really, I love the idea of going a little more cinematic with the old Freakazoid trope. Something we never would see. Candlejack, he does like a Spider-Man thing with the ropes practically. It's just the cinematic, like he's now trapped in ropes instantly. That's really cool if you're gonna bring Candlejack into live action. So where's Steph? And we learned Steph, it was a ruse to get you doing the best Jeff Bennett impression you can do here. It's like it was a ruse. Yes. To get you here, Freakazoid. Again, the classic Candlejack gag of once he catches all these people, which he's not really used to, now what?
Yeah, what's exactly the next plan here?
I'm not quite sure. Usually stop me by now. This is a first. Well, you could always let me go. Try that on for size. True. Wait. I caught you fair and square. I'm going to figure something out. You just wait here. I got to make a call. And of course, I love it whenever Candlejack, when he catches these people, he's just trying to figure out the next step. He always makes a call, usually to a bus depot where he's trying to charter a bus last time.
Every time he makes a call, he just comes off more and more mundane, right?
Yes, and the mundane quality I thought was just basically taking the biggest one of the wonderful things I want to highlight this whole fan film for with the Candlejack segment is it feels like something John P. McCann would have written for Freakazoid. It just feels so perfect and mundane and just silly. So Candlejack, he calls his sponsor Terry. Which a part of me, I think this predates it. Part of me would like to think maybe it's Scary Terry because
No, it's not Scary Terry.
No.
I mean, Blinky, if you're still in the chat, if it is in fact Scary Terry, let me know. But
well, I'm half joking.
If it was,
I'm half joking to you because what I was getting at is that there is a Scary Terry short film that he made, but which is hysterical with the whole Nightmare on Elm Street thing. That there's an actual Scary Terry. But no, you're right. I'm just saying it's just the guy named Terry. But can you imagine? So he calls his sponsor Terry. So. Which you get perfectly on brand.
Perfectly mundane, humanizing moment for Cable Jack.
I love Cable Jack. He's like
we find comedy out of tragedy almost with this moment.
And I love that it's kind of harmless tragedy because Cable Jack doesn't really do anything horrific. He just catches
right. But it's like you see, he has his own demons. You know what
He does. He has his own peculiar demons here. It's like, I got him this time. Well, what are you gonna do? That's why I called.
And I genuinely I don't know, Dragon. This is going to sound kind of cheesy, but I genuinely thought that Terry was a good, was a good support system for Canada.
Oh, I know. Seriously, he was an excellent sponsor in this situation. I'm with you 100%. Yes. Is
as fucking stupid as the actual moment was, I feel like they grounded it in kind of a weird sort of realism there.
Yeah, it was like a Felony Carl comfort factor to Terry on the phone here. So, Jack, I can't condone any of this. You have to know where.
The thing that really got me, on an that's nice kind of level is I'll see you at the group meeting on Sunday, Jack. You got this, brother.
Yeah. It was beautiful. Seriously, it was nice. It was stay strong, brother. It was really nice. Remember, enough. You need to know when to say enough is enough. So
I never thought I'd have a feel good moment in regards to Candle Jack's therapy, but there you go.
And again, just nailing the absurdity very well, which again, when done right, little heartstrings get pulled.
Right.
All right, so he returns now with the mantra, enough is enough. Enough is enough. Freakazoid is gone. Now he has a very Schwarzenegger-esque line from Freakazoid. You want to be a farmer? And he brings out a giant mallet, almost like the Mask. Brings up a giant mallet. Here's a couple of acres. Bam! Knocks him out.
God.
Then we see this cut to the reality of the pitch where Freakazoid stands up like a plush bear or something for the height. It's like he's standing over Candle Jack's body, doing the victory pose and everything. So when do we start? We can't.
Oh, well, unfortunately we can't.
Well, why?
Because this is it.
We already did it. This is the horrified realization and the look to camera from Freakazoid here. This is it? You, me, bantering for 7 pages? That was my fan film?
Yeah, the Candle Jack stuff, yeah.
Mother!
This great freeze frame of Freakazoid about to throw the barrel.
And of course, this is a fun deep cut, Tiki. Again, I wasn't able to check the name. I'm pretty sure when this thing aired, when I checked it, I don't think I found the name because here's what it's a reference to. It's a deep Freakazoid cut. So after Mother, and we freeze frame with the executive producer credit again for TV. Here's Donald P. Bellizzaro. Now, while I don't recognize the name Donald P. Bellizzaro off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure this is Blinky's nod to the fake credits you get in front of the more cinematic of episodes, like the Mission Impossible episode, for example.
Right.
Mission Freak Possible. I forget what the parody title was. Anyway, so where you had, of course, one of my favorite titles that kept popping up, Wiener Mercator, the Hopping Woman, as the Hopping Woman. So that sort of credit, like a really absurd made-up credit, like Emmett, something like that.
Uh-huh.
And then we have, now, I gotta tell you, as simple as it sounds, the end credits quite literally rock. Just like the practically metal cover of the Freakazoid theme song is also really cool. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to go wrong with a hard rock cover of a cartoon theme song, Dragon. Something like that is hard to mess up.
It was pretty cool. And again, I'm all for new, reverence towards Freakazoid. I'm all down for that. And that brings
Dragon,
us to the end.
Blinky 500 gave you some clarification here.
Right. Magnum PI. Yeah. It's like
Yeah,
it's good.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what he's talking about too.
Yeah.
Is that the direct? I think it might be the direct name too, because now he brings that up. I think that's exactly. Yeah. Okay. Well, I took a stab at the Wiener Mercator thing, but no, it's good to know, Blinky. Thank you for clarifying that. Okay. Well, I guess that brings us at the end. So, final thoughts, Tiki. Why don't you start us off?
Yeah, it's like it's a really interesting piece because, like, I feel like Freakazoid is a character that kind of has limitless potential in the parody realms. But by doing something like this, I feel like it almost more to the spirit of the character, where it's like the spirit of the character, like, is just these random non sequiturs and, and plot cul-de-sacs. And, it's like Freakazoid is not a series that's built on any sort of strong foundation of logic or anything, or continuity. So I got to admit, Dragon, talking through it, I'm a little bit more warm to this than I think I'm gonna upgrade it to a really like. I really like this. Maybe if again, I understand the Cosgrove situation, I totally do, but man, I wanted Cosgrove to interrupt this conversation so bad.
We all did.
I know, but But yeah, I think the non sequiturs and the fourth wall breaks and and kind of tying into Deadpool and everything, it all works really well. It all ties pretty well with the character. I quite enjoyed it.
Final thoughts for me, as I kind of said towards the opening, I've been a Blinky 500 fan for a long while, and this is as deep as a cut the man could inflict on me in the best and most nostalgic of ways. I was and I still am. I'm brimming with pride over this puppy. God, I want Paul Rugg to see this. I really do. I really want him to see this. Mm-hmm. It makes me want a Freakazoid reboot even more after especially post Animaniacs and after that really iffy, not so great Teen Titans Go Freakazoid revival, which had brought all the players back but just didn't do enough with them, in my opinion. So this is in the spirit of everything that we love about Freakazoid. The cleverness of kind of the super kind of the superhero parody applied to its now modern equivalent in kind of a post Deadpool world. That's great. Using Notarile as Spielberg or kind of the WB staff, if you will, or the Amblin staff more accurately. Again, the hair is like the only quibble I have, which is, oh my goodness, I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt my own final thoughts here real quick, because Blinky 500 is confirmed. Paul Rugg has seen this, and he liked it. That's wonderful, nice. Blinky. Nice. Yeah! Awesome. There is justice in the world. Yeah! Sorry, let me round things out. So again, hair quibble aside, very, very minor, and again, practicality, I'm sure. Again, as I said, this is exactly just kind of what I would, in my wildest dreams, love like Deadpool 3 to attempt to do, something like that, to address like the Disney changes and kind of in the regime change. It's kind of since the merger.
I just got an idea.
Okay, this real quick, what do you got?
Ever gonna happen? All right, but what if Deadpool 3 was Deadpool being sent in to resolve the issues between Iger and Chapek?
Tiki, you're right. That's never going to happen, but that'd be amazing.
Right.
Be amazing. All right. But, again,
all right, guys, come on. Let's just act like adults here, all right?
But, I'm just going to take the opportunity, given that he's technically in the comments right now. I was going to end on this anyway, but I just want to profusely thank Mr. Notarile for this fan film. We need more Freakazoid, period. The man helped deliver that in a big, bad way that I think, paid proper tribute to the character. I mean, heck, I'd love to see another one with Cosgrove, and obviously these fan films, require funding and such. But just if we ever see Freakazoid appear again, I know it'd be in good hands with Blinky 500. Man does top quality work always, and I mean there's a whole slew of things I could point you to, and who knows, maybe we'll cover some of them, between here and like down the line. But there's a lot of tremendous stuff, and again, Freakazoid is just very close to my heart, and just seeing it rendered in live action was something special. So again, thank you, sir, and again. It's been fun to talk about.
All right, let's say it one more time for the record, Dragon. 1, 2, 3.
Hug bees! Brought to you by Anubis Food Markets. Food so good,